Good morning, Math Amazing Learners. Welcome to Valenzuela Live. I'm your Math Every Life teacher, Mrs. Marife C. Bilangel from Apollonia F. Rafael Elementary School. I'm so glad to see you today, and I'm here to teach you new concept in mathematics that I'm sure you are excited to learn. So, get ready, grab your pen, paper, and self-learning module, and let us explore and conquer the world of mathematics. For our today's lesson, you must perform and master the following skills. First, you have to multiply decimals and mix decimals with factors up to 2 decimal places. Next, you have to multiply decimals mentally up to 2 decimal places by 1/10, 100, 10, and 100. Next, you have to solve routine and non-routine problems involving multiplication of decimals and mixed decimals, including money, using appropriate solving strategies. Are you ready? Let's begin. To begin with, let's have an activity entitled Complete Me. In this activity, you just have to complete the factors of each given product by identifying the value of each shape, namely circle, triangle, and square. Let's have the first set of shapes. So we have here 3 square, which is equal to 8. What do you think is the value of each square? Right, the value of a square is equal to 2. 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. How about the next set of shapes? So we have a triangle and a square, which is equal to 6. What do you think is the value of a triangle if we already know the value of a square, which is 2? Right, the value of a triangle is equal to 3. Then we have a circle, a triangle, and another triangle, which is equal to 45. What do you think is the value of a circle if we already know the value of a triangle? Very good. The value of a circle is equal to 5. 5 times 3 times 3 is equal to 45. How about 2 squares and a circle? So the factors are 2 times 2 times 5, which is equal to 20. Then, if we have a circle, a triangle, and a square, what is the product? So the product is 30 because a circle is equal to 5, a triangle is equal to 3, and a square is equal to 2. Good job, learners. Now, let us discuss how to multiply decimals and mix decimals. Let's start with this problem. If a cellular phone call is 7 pesos and 50 centavos per minute, how much is a 15-minute call cost? So to answer this problem, we have to understand it by first, we have to find what is asked in the problem. So the ask in the problem is the cost of a 15-minute call. Then let us identify the given facts of this problem. So the facts of the problem are a call costs 7 pesos and 50 centavos per minute and a 15-minute call. Now, let's plan how to solve this problem. Let us identify the operations to be used in the problem. So the operation needed to solve the problem is multiplication. Then the number sentence, let n be the cost of a 15-minute call. 7 pesos and 50 centavos times 15 is equal to n. Let us solve this problem. So let us multiply 750 times 15, or 7 pesos and 50 centavos times 15. The first thing to do is to multiply the decimals by the whole number as if we are just multiplying whole numbers. Let us ignore the decimal point. Let's start from the right going to the left. 0 times 5 is equal to 0. 5 times 5 is equal to 25. Write down 5 and regroup 2. Next, 7 times 5 is 35 plus 2 is equal to 37. Write down 37. Then we have 0 times 1 is 0. 5 times 1 is 5. 7 times 1 is 7. Let's add the result. Bring down 0. 5 plus 0 is equal to 5. 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. Write down 2 and regroup 1. 3 plus 7 is equal to 10 plus 1, that is equal to 11. To get the product of 750 times 15, let us count the decimal places of the factors 750. So 750 has 2 decimal places, so we have to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So our answer or the product is 112 pesos and 50 centavos is the cost of a 15-minute call. So let us now try to multiply decimals by a whole number. Let us find the product of 24 and 3 and 6 tenths. So to multiply this, we have to align the digits in columns but not necessarily by place value. So we have 24 multiplied by 3 and 6 tenths. Step 2, ignore the decimal points. Multiply the factors as if you are multiplying whole numbers. Then regroup if necessary. Let us multiply 4 times 6. 4 times 6 equals 24. Write down 4, regroup 2. 2 times 6 equals 12 plus 2, that is equal to 14. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Write down 2, regroup 1. Then 2 times 3 is equal to 6 plus 1, that is equal to 7. Let us now add the result. Bring down 4. 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. 1 plus 7 is equal to 8. Since we are multiplying decimals by a whole number, we must not forget to count the number of decimal places in the factors. So the factors have 1 decimal place. So we have to place the decimal point starting from the right of the last digit in the product. Then, we can now have 86 and 4 tenths as our product. So let us remember that the number of decimal places in the product is equal to the total number of decimal places in the factors. Let's have our second example. Find the product of 12 and 3 tenths and 4 and 7 tenths. Again, the first step, digits should be aligned in columns but not necessarily by place value. We have 12 and 3 tenths multiplied by 4 and 7 tenths. Ignore the decimal points and multiply the factors as if we are just multiplying whole numbers. Regroup if necessary. 3 times 7 is 21. Write down 1, regroup 2. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 2 equals 16. Write down 6, regroup 1. 1 times 7 is equal to 7 plus 1 is equal to 8. 4 times 3 is equal to 12, regroup 1. 2 times 4 is equal to 8 plus 1 equals 9. 1 times 4 is equal to 4. So we have to add the result. Let us add the result. Bring down 1. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 8 plus 9 equals 17. Write down 7. Regroup 1. 1 plus 4 equals 5. Don't forget to count the number of decimal places in the factors. So we have 2 decimal places. Place the decimal point starting from the right of the last digit in the product. So we have 57 and 81 hundredths as our product. So let us remember the number of decimal places in the product is equal to the total number of decimal places in the factors. So let's try this activity. You are given 1 minute to answer this. So your timer starts now. Time's up. Now let's see your answer. So the answer for this activity, for our first activity, 5 and 6 tenths multiplied by 14, that is equal to 78 and 4 tenths. Did you get the same answer? Great job. Next, we have 91 and 3 tenths multiplied by 2 and 7 tenths. So the product is 246 and 51 hundredths. Good job, grade 6 students. Now, let us multiply decimals up to 2 decimal places by 1/10, 100, 10, and 100. Ma'am Tony sold copper wires. The table below shows the packs of copper wires sold. So for pack A, which weigh 100 kilogram, it costs 4,575 10,000. For pack B, which weigh 1/10, it costs 4 and 575 thousandths. For pack C, which weigh 10 kilograms, it costs 457 pesos and 50 centavos. And for pack E, which weigh 100 kilograms, it costs 4,575. So how to multiply decimals up to 2 decimal places by 1/10 and 100? Let's try to observe the pattern in these examples. So if I multiply 45 and 75 hundredths by 1/10, the answer is 4 and 575 thousandths. Since 1/10 has only one decimal place, I move the decimal point of 45 and 75 hundredths to the left. So the product is 4 and 575 thousandths. While 45 and 75 hundredths multiplied by 100 is equal to 4,575 10,000ths. Since 100 has two decimal places, I move the decimal point of 45 and 75 hundredths two decimal places to the left. The product is 4,575 10,000ths. So to multiply numbers by 1/10, we just have to move the decimal point one place to the left. Let's have this another example. 3 and 468 thousandths multiplied by 1/10. What do you think is the product? Very good. The product is 3,468 10,000ths. We just move the decimal point one place to the left. Then use 0 as a placeholder. Next, we have 951 and 2/10 multiplied by 1/10. What do you think is the product? Can you solve it mentally? Yes, you can solve it mentally by just moving the decimal point one place to the left. So the product is 95 and 12 hundredths. Great job, learners. Now, let us multiply numbers by 100. Since 100 has two decimal places, we just have to move the decimal point two places to the left. So let's try 3 and 468 thousandths multiplied by 100. So the product is 3,468 hundred thousandths. Then use 0 as a placeholder. Let's have another one. 951 and 2/10 multiplied by 100. The product is 9 and 512 thousandths. Do you have the same answer? Very good. Now, let's multiply decimals up to two decimal places by 10 and 100. Try to observe the pattern in these given examples. 45 and 75 hundredths multiplied by 10 is equal to 457 and 5/10. Since 10 has 1 0, we just have to move the decimal point one place by this time to the right. So the product is 457 and 5/10. While 45 and 75 hundredths multiplied by 100 is equal to 4,575. Since 100 has two zeros, we have to move the decimal point two places to the right. So our product is 4,575. To multiply numbers by 10, we just have to move the decimal point one place to the right. 3 and 468 thousandths multiplied by 10, the answer is 34 and 68 hundredths. How about 951 and 2/10 multiplied by 10? What do you think is the product? The product is 9,512. And to multiply numbers by 100, we just have to move the decimal point two places to the right. 3 and 468 thousandths times 100. Move the decimal point 2 places to the right. The product is 346 and 8 tenths. While 951 and 2 tenths multiplied by 100, move the decimal point 2 places to the right. The answer is, then use 0 as a placeholder. We have 95,120. Now, you already know how to multiply decimals up to 2 decimal places by power of 10. Let's try these activities. So, by this time, you are just given 30 seconds to answer this problem and multiply it mentally as fast as 10. So, your timer starts now. Let us check your answer. So let us see the product. So the product for 21 and 35 hundredths multiplied by 10, the answer is 213 and 5 tenths. Then we have 6 and 84 hundredths multiplied by 100. The product is 684 10 thousandths. 176 thousandths multiplied by 100, the answer is 17 and 6 tenths. 92 and 58 hundredths multiplied by 1 tenth, the product is 9 and 258 thousandths. Do you get all the correct answer? Very good, learners. Now, let's have solving word problems. A store owner paid 160 pesos for a tray of 30 eggs. She sold all the eggs at 6 pesos and 25 centavos each. How much profit did she get for selling all the eggs? Again, to solve this problem, we have to understand it by finding what is asked, the profit of the owner for selling all the eggs. Next, let us identify the given facts. The facts are 160 pesos for 30 eggs, which she sold at 6 and 25 centavos each. Let us try to identify the operations needed to solve the problem. So the operation needed to solve the problem is multiplication and subtraction. Then the number sentence, let n be the profit of the store owner for selling all the eggs. We have 6 and 25 hundredths multiplied by 30 minus 160 equals n. Now let us solve this problem by following the rules of order of operations. So 6 and 25 hundredths multiplied by 30 minus 160. So we multiply first 6 and 25 hundredths by 30. The product is 187 and 50 hundredths. Now let us subtract 187 and 50 hundredths by 160. So what's the difference? The difference is 27 and 50 hundredths. So therefore, the answer is 27 pesos and 50 centavos is the owner's profit for selling all the eggs. Now, let's have our second word problem. A tricycle driver charges his passenger 20 pesos for the first 1 kilometer, then an additional 6 pesos for the succeeding kilometers. If the passenger destination covers a total distance of 4.5 kilometers, how much will the passenger pay? Let us identify what is asked in this problem. So the ask in this problem is the amount the passenger will pay the driver. Next, the given facts are 20 pesos for first 1 kilometer, additional 6 pesos for the succeeding kilometers, and 4.5 kilometers. What are the operations to be used in this problem? So we have addition, subtraction, and multiplication. The number sentence, let n be the amount the passenger will pay the driver. So we have 20 plus 4.5 minus 1 times 6 equals n. Let us solve this problem. Again, applying the rules of order of operations. So we perform first the numbers in the parentheses. So we have 4.5 minus 1, that is equal to 3.5. Then we have 20 plus 3.5 times 6. So we multiply 3.5 times 6. 3.5 times 6 equals 21. Then 20 plus 21, that is equal to 41. Therefore, the passenger will pay 41 pesos to the driver. For your activity, answer this problem. I will ride a jeepney going to a town 7 kilometers away. The fare is 9 pesos for the first 4 kilometers and charges an additional 1 peso and 50 centavos for every kilometer thereafter. If she gives the driver a 50 peso bill, how much change will she get? You only have 1 minute to answer this activity and your timer starts now. Time's up. Now, let's see the answer. So, for what is asked, we have Ivy's change from her 50 peso bill. Then, for what are the given facts? The given facts are 7 kilometers, 9 pesos fare for the first 4 kilometers, additional 1 peso and 50 centavos for every kilometer thereafter, and a 50 peso bill. For our operations, the operations needed to solve the problem are addition, subtraction, and multiplication. Our number sentence, let n be the change of Ivy from her 50 peso bill. So we have 50 minus grouping symbols, 7 minus 4 times 1 and 50 hundredths plus 9 equals n. So the solution for this problem, so we have to subtract first 7 minus 4. The result is 3. Then let us multiply 3 by 1 and 50 hundredths. The result is 4 and 50 hundredths. Let us now add 4 and 50 hundredths by 9. So the sum is 13 and 50 hundredths. 50 minus 13 and 50 hundredths, the answer is 36 and 50 hundredths. So therefore, Ivy's change is 36 pesos and 50 centavos. I hope you also get the correct answer. Well done, grade 6 students. Now let's summarize how to multiply decimals and mix decimals. So the first step is to align the digits in columns, but not necessarily by place value. Then you have to ignore the decimal points as if you are multiplying whole numbers. Regroup if necessary, add the result. Count the number of decimal places of the factors, then place the decimal point starting from the right of the last digit in the product. The decimal place in the product is equal to the total number of decimal places in the factors. How to multiply numbers by 1/10, 100, 10, and 100. So, to multiply numbers by 1/10 or 100, we just have to move the decimal point of the other factor to the left by the number of decimal places in 1/10 and 100. The resulting number is the product. To multiply a decimal by a power of 10, move the decimal point of the decimal factor the same number of places to the right as the number of zeros in the factor, which is a power of 10. Then lastly, use 0 as a placeholder when necessary to complete the number. How to solve word problems involving multiplication of decimals. So we have 4 steps. The first step is to understand the problem by identifying what is asked and what are the given facts. Then plan on how to solve the problem. What are the operations to be used and what is the number sentence? Third one, you have to solve the problem by writing the solution and your complete answer. And finally, you have to check your answer if necessary. Now it's time for our questions and answer portion. So if you do have concerns or queries regarding our lesson, kindly type it in our comment box and our moderator will assist you, and I will try my best to give an answer to your concern. So our first question is from a female student. So her question is, can we remove zeros if it is placed after the decimal point? Again, her question is, can we remove zeros if it is placed after the decimal point? So thank you for your wonderful question. The answer is yes and no. We can remove 0 after the decimal point if it is not followed by a non-zero digit. But if it's followed by a non-zero digit, it means that the 0 after the decimal point is a significant number. We cannot remove the 0. So I hope I already answered your question. So anyone who has another question, kindly type it in our comment section. So if not, this is your home learning task. So answer the following activities on your mathematics module. So answer what's more page 21, assessment page 22 to 23, and assessment page 26 to 27. So this ends our discussion. Thank you, math amazing learners. I hope you learned something today on how to multiply decimals and mix decimals. See you again in our next discussion. Again, I am Mrs. Maripis C. Bilanghel saying, stay safe and be healthy. Goodbye!